Okay, July 2016, this is my duck boat and fishing boat repainting job. I'm going to do something different than most of these videos you've looked at. I'm going to try to give you a lot of information really quick and try to make this a quick video. No reason I think this needs to take 8, 9, 10, 15 minutes like some of these I've looked at. So, to the point, this is the ubiquitous Craigslist, $1,000 to $1,500 fishing boat with a 25 horse Mercury or the like. They're all over the place. I've taken this one and completely cleaned it up. All the dirt is out of it. I vacuumed it out over the course of the last couple days. So let me tell you exactly what I did. First I started with TSP, which I put into a garden sprayer. In total I think I used about 2 gallons, mixed a strong solution of it. I just squirted it on the boat and let it sit. And then I came through after that with a stiff metal brush and went over everything. And I probably did that 3-4 times over the course of an afternoon for the whole boat. After that, when it was all dried out the next day actually, I took mineral spirits and went around and I rubbed the mineral spirits all over the surface of that I'm going to paint with one of these Scotch-Brite pads or whatever they call it. Had a little scraper there also, used rubber gloves. But just went over the whole thing with that. Very important, after you go over it with that, wipe it down with some kind of a rag like this one. You'll take some of the oxidized paint off. Now I'm ready to primer, and we'll see what happens after that. But here we go. Okay, prime the boat. I used a brush and a little bit of a spray can in places I couldn't reach. I thought the brush worked pretty well. You could really get it on a lot thicker than I think you can with that can, but we'll see. Paint's run over the empty can here, but the primer I used was I don't know how you pronounce this, but Zinsser 123 Plus. It's one that's made for aluminum. I think there's lots of things like this if you can find self-etching. Some people think that works better too. I couldn't find it at a local hardware store. I suppose a paint store would have had it, but I think it's going to work fine. What I first started thinking about was I was going to use some of these pre-made camo colors by Rust-Oleum. I like the idea of being able to paint the boat with a color that's fairly, ubiquitous or available. Then if I get a scratch or something, I can just buy a can and do touch-up work and fix it. The problem I ran into is I just tested some of it on the primer itself just to get kind of a look at what it was like, and I can't explain it, but I just don't really like the colors. They're a little bit too candy apple, I might describe it, or a little too bright for me. It almost feels like some of these are made for kids who are decorating or camouflaging paintball kind of activities. It just doesn't quite feel right to me. So long story short, where I ended up, which is from where I started, was with an oil-based paint. I'm going to put it on with a brush. You could do it with a sprayer or a roller. It's a Parker duck boat paint made for a duck boat. It's on a Green Bay, Wisconsin. So we'll see how that goes. I'm getting away again from the idea that I'll be able to repair it easily if I need to. I suppose if I have a spare can around, I might be able to brush it on if I get a little bit of paint knocked off here or there. But this is a marsh grass Parker paint that I'm going to try now for the base coat. And here's just a quick little glance of the first couple brushes going on. I do really like the color. That's Parker paint, marsh grass. Alright, here is the first coat on. I'm actually pretty pleased with how it went on. It was just the right sort of thickness to be able to do with a brush, which I was a little bit worried about with a painting on metal like this, but I think she came out pretty nice. Okay, before I put this together, I want to just show you how I'm going to set up my battery here. This is always sort of a hassle in fishing boats, where to put a battery and stow it well. It used to be under the seat here, but the battery case I now have is a little bit too big for that. I made this out of 2x4s, nothing really special about it, but just sort of cut it to the angle of the side of the boat, put a few drainage holes in here that'll fit in like this, and then my battery box. fit on top just like that, and I should be able to tie it down to that some way. Okay, one other thing I want to show here is this odd looking piece of 2x4s I've kind of cut and glued and put together here. I routed out an edge on the bottom. Looks odd, but it's going to fit right in here, if you can see, and that makes a nice level spot for where the battery is going to go for my fish finder. And so I'm going to screw all that down now, but just wanted to show that taken apart before I put it all together. I want to just give a shot here of the final battery setup. It was a little, this is one of the more complicated parts of putting this together, I think. I ended up, I think I've shown some of the frame I have on the bottom. I wanted to get the batteries up out of the water when there is water in the boat. I mean, nothing's foolproof, but so give you an idea here. In front, the plastic box is a smaller battery. I'm going to walk around to that side. Yeah, what I did here is this is just sort of a, I don't know, a cereal container, but that small battery fits well in this container. I got it at Target, but it just snaps down, and I believe that is up to Coast Guard code, but I use that to run my fish finder. I've got that on its own battery. I think these fish finders like their own power source, unlike some of the other things that are on the boat. So anyway, I wanted to show that. Okay, these are the wood pieces I made to put on top of the gunnels. It's part decorative, but part also because I just wanted some wood that I could drill into if I wanted to attach something quickly, whether it be a rod holder or a sunshade or whatever. I took boards on the curved part of the boat. You'll see more of this later. Traced them, cut them on a bandsaw, kind of sanded them up, then ran them through a router to put the curved edge on them. Some of these pieces had to get a little bit creative with the end pieces to make them fit on the front of the boat, but we'll see more of this later when I do put them on the boat. I have 5/8 inch countersunk holes that I intend to plug in some way. Haven't quite figured that piece out. Might be some kind of a button. It might be just sort of a regular flush plug I'll put on there. But alright guys, I'm declaring this boat ready to fish. I got a few things left to do, but nothing to stop me from getting on the water. There's a little close up of that trim, and that just goes along the back of the boat here.